Alright, gonna do a quick unboxing with all the parts and pieces here, all the components that we've got together. Bear with the lighting, I'm in the basement, it's unfinished. It doesn't quite bode well for good video lighting, but regardless, so this is the cable loom that I ordered from Plug and Play Kits. There's the little instructions that are going to come with it for my vehicle. The user manual for my kicker HS10. The hideaway, here that is. I've already put the feet on here. Some of that cabling. And then the speaker amplifier, the kicker key that I've got going in. In this next part of the video here, I will show you kind of how all these components are going to fit together. Alright, great. So we're going to work from the head unit down to the sub there, and I'll explain every part as we go. So this little guy here is going to go in between the head unit, so allowing everything else that needs to pass through, and we're just grabbing out what we need for the ins and outs for this connection. This is all part of the Plug and Play kits. Then we have each of these connectors, and I haven't wired anything to this point. This is going to go in and out from your system. And we'll come over here and then again grab out everything we need to go down to the sub. Now this does all just click together. I haven't wired anything, I haven't done anything. It's just kind of what matches where. It's a pretty easy install here so far. Then this is going to be the loom to get down to our sub. We're going to break out of our kicker sub there and come up to here. So these are the high level input colors to our cable loom here, and go in and out. So these are going to match up, and eventually I'll solder these together and putting these together in a different part once I figure out how much of this I actually need in the actual install. This is our remote wire. One thing Kicker does note in the user manual is to run this not next to your power cable, because if you run this next to your power cable you can get interference between the two. So make sure to run this on maybe the opposite side of your vehicle or a different path depending on where you want to mount it. This big black wire here is our ground wire, and this blue is for the remote. And then we come over here to power. We're going to do the power cable, and there's about 20 feet of this, and maybe we'll have to extend this, we'll find out. We're going to add our inline little breaker. We're going to add our inline fuse here. Just want to do a quick show of the mounting board that I'm building. Just threw a piece of kill mat down, because why not? I got tons of this stuff. No real reason for it. And then I'm using this adhesive back sub box carpet. I'll throw a link to that. But most of the stuff off Amazon. I just went to the hardware store for a piece of wood. Actually, I had some 5/8 left over. Just wanted to show everyone kind of what it's looking like, then show you all said and done. Alright, so we're going to go over installation location of the sub. It's going to be going somewhere in here. I'm going to remove this. This is the factory sub mount for the aftermarket system. It's in the way. I don't want it. I'm not going to use it. So this is going to go. And I'm going to try to find a way. I'm going to mount the sub board in here. Put some kill mat on. Kind of isolate the sound in this back area. And the sub will mount in here. This next part I'll show you the building of my sub board, getting everything to fit. And how I'm mounting the sub board to here. Alright. So you can see here, this is where I'm mounting my wood board. I'm going to zoom out. It's going to fit right in there in the passenger side of the vehicle. We've got these two little nubbies right there, and the other one up over there. I'm going to try to put little holes in here so that it'll kind of sit in there, and use the factory screws a little bit to hold it up. I did break this guy off, just wheeled it back and forth. Some weight. I'm also JB weld some bolts onto here, 4 of them. Those will also help hold the weight of this up a little bit. And I'm going to wrap the back of this in kill mat. So I got my JB Weld on all of my elevator bolts here. Got a big old glob on there. We're just gonna let it fill all the cracks and gaps in there and smash her in there real good, and then remove the board. All right, let's go ahead and get it in there. All right, let's hope these bolts don't move too much, huh? So now I've got about 24 hours before I get to put this. Great, for this part we're gonna go over dash removal. So we're gonna pull all of this apart, kind of descending down the vehicle. There's a couple screws underneath the centerpiece here. And they're 7mm under here. But everything else is just held in by clips. We're going all the way down. For this, I'm going to be using some of my plastic trim removals and a flat head at some point. Plastic trim removals are great, so you don't scratch up your vehicle. Just kind of work slowly around the whole piece. Great, got that piece out. Great. All three of those are removed. Oh, there we go. She's out. It's definitely a tilt and pull out kind of maneuver there that we wanted to execute, that we did not execute. Let's go ahead and show you the back here. There's these ones that are clipped into, and these ones here as well. These clips here. These are where the bolts are. All right, so I finally managed to snake the end from our loom up to the end with our connector. I didn't want to connect it yet, but they'll go together right here, and then I'm going to stuff it kind of right back in there, and it'll go great. This comes up through our glove box. You can see, it might be very hard, there's a little hole back in there. You're able to just right on the side of this, and you come right over the top here. There's a hole up in there, and you're able to snake it through and drop it down. And you're going to make this connection. Now we're going to end up mounting the amp somewhere in here. We'll see where all the cabling lands. This is fairly simple. All of this just pulls up. It's all done with clips. There's no bolts anywhere to go all the way back to there. So this is fairly simple. I'm just going to get this all pulled up. And it is just a pull here. Kind of a neat little tug there. And you're just going to kind of wiggle this out. The weather stripping will come with it. You'll have to put that back later. This one here, I just got a hand on this and give it a big push. Now this all comes undone. Great, now that I've got all this removed, this wire is going to run through here. Ford's got these neat little channels that will open up. A couple little clips just here, 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 and here. These pop open and you're able to run wire through there. Through the back here. It's all nice protected, and yeah, we'll come up under here and get the wires at the back. You won't even ever see them. Alright, so signal and speaker wire harness are ran. The wires come down here from up over here. We come down into this channel here. Gonna skip over. There's both of them here. They hit that channel back there. Come here. They come through right here. And here they are, ran right here. I got a bunch of extra, but that's good. We're going to make that nice and neat at the end. I think now we're ready for a test. Well, power cable first. Alright, next we're going to run the power cable for the sub. So how we're going to do that is we're going to come along the back side. We're going to come through here, around. I'm just going to first go show you how to get into the engine bay. So if we come down here and look up, that little rubber gasket right there, that's how we're going to go from inside to outside. We're just going to put a small hole inside that, and easy enough to remove. Just kind of reach up. Get a finger under it, and it comes right out. It's just in there like that. So you just got to get a finger up under this lip, and it'll just pull right on out. So for reference, I used a 5/32 drill bit. Drilled right in through that hole there in the middle. And this seems very snug, but still workable. So I can still work up and down, but there's no way any water or anything is going to come through there. If I'm feeling crazy later, I might throw a little black silicone on there, but I think this is pretty solid. Alright, I've got the cable pulled through. I also went ahead and I soldered all these connections on here and here to add the fuse in line, which you should do. But you don't have to solder. It does come with butt joints, and these can all be just joined together that way. I just think solder is a little bit more permanent, looks a little bit more professional. So that cable goes there, goes down in that little hole right there, which is on the back side, right up in there. And I've just got that loosely ran. Like I said, we're gonna test everything before we do it permanently. And I've got that ran up to our harness right here. Alright, so this is how you get up behind the glove box here. There's these little tabs right here. And there's another one right here. You just gotta push those in, and then it'll come to rest on here, and you're just gonna pinch that together, and this whole box will fall down. See? Now it's resting just right here. I'm just gonna pinch that and pull this back. Pull this back this way, and this whole thing will come down. And there we go. Now it's down. You can go ahead and lift it to remove it away if you want. So let's go over the final installation. You can see that loom coming back from behind the head unit is right here. So this is that loom that goes up behind the head unit, right back in here. Comes right to here. And then this is my amplifier. I've just got it tucked right up in there. That's where I think everything works the best, is there. And then it comes around over the top and it comes down, and before you even see it, it's back behind this panel. Runs the length here. Comes here. Comes here. And now pop this. And there's my sub. Clean install. Got this wire loom all cleaned up. Power cable runs on over to the other side, follows the same route up to the battery there. And here she is, nice and installed. I did definitely put some deadening on both the plastic and here. This seemed to want to rattle quite a bit, so I got some deadening in around down here. And we've got the back all covered and coated. Did fill in a little bit of insulation here to stop this box from rattling, because that would rattle pretty bad there. And that's the install. She's all nice and working beautiful. And I've got my volume control knob right here. Mounted that to the underside there when we got her all done. She's a work of beauty.